walked into Seoul, and we were there about 2 days, and they sent us back to the front. And we went on the east front in the big mountains on the east side of Korea. And the Marines were up there, and they'd been wiped out. And we came up, and they lost two-thirds of their men. They lost. The Marines did. Well, we got into that deal, and we hit the enemy, and it was dark, and first platoon was Burns's platoon, and company commander told him to go right into them. We were up a little ridge line and then up kind of a nipple, and the Chinks were up there, and they were using all AK-47s. And I wasn't in it. I was second platoon. And I was just sitting there waiting, We didn't know what was going to happen. Well, when the first platoon started up that slope, we knew what was going to happen because the Chinks ate them up. And I don't know, but I'm sure that they killed or wounded, and mostly wounded. You don't kill them, very many of these young soldiers. They're hard to kill. They really are. But anyway, I went through Burns and his platoon because they told second platoon, let's go. Let's get it. This is my first time out, and I'd never been with those boys in combat, and they didn't know what the lieutenant was going to do, and I didn't either. But I tell you, one of the messages that was with me that took me through at least two of the worst was my dad. And when my dad put me on the airplane at Tulsa to go to Seattle to get on a boat and go to Korea, he said, son, it's not going to be what you think it's going to be. You've been talking about gooks and this and that, but when they've got a gun and you've got a gun, you're all the same size. And he said, I want you to know one thing, don't ever let this country down. I'm telling you this, don't you let this country down. And that's something I wouldn't do with my dad, because he was a tough German, and he was all business with my brother and I both. And anyway, it wasn't long till I was seeing my dad, in the situation we were in. And I had the second platoon here, and I was ready to go up that ridge line, and I didn't have to go more than, I don't think, over 3 times is from here to the wall. It wasn't very far,
100 yards?
And I told the boys, and they didn't know anything about me. I'd just been there. And I'd never been in combat, but I was getting to. And I told them, I said, I'll lead. And I said, 2 of those squads go to my right, and 2 of my squads go to the left at skirmish lines, and we'll go up to the top. Just before we jumped off to hit the gooks, a hand grenade, and it was a sorry kind. It was a potato masher type concussion instead of a frag, and the frag would have killed me. But I saw this in the moonlight. It was bright moon, and probably 10 o'clock at night. I saw this potato masher coming, and it probably was from here to twice as from here to that bag. But when it hit, it went off, and it hit me. And it it hit me in this arm pretty good. But I was so excited, I didn't know it was hit. And I knew one damn thing. My dad said, "Don't let this country down." That's the one thing I remember. And the men knew I was hit. Nobody else was. But I was so excited that it didn't faze me at all, you know. No pain, nothing. It was something else. But I was in a situation there where we had to go. My boys started to go the other way. I saw them. And I cussed them bad, real bad. And let's go. And I said, they just turned around. And I started running, and I didn't have a weapon. And I was going to kill one with my hands. That's what I was going to do. And those guys were right behind me. I don't know what happened, but the Lord stepped in there somewhere. And the distance from here to where the gooks were, was twice as far as from here to that wall. There was no gooks. They were gone. Those son of a guns run up the back side and into the valley. I could see them running. And they had no reason to do that because they'd whipped Burns' outfit bad, and they got most of them. And I had one boy killed, and then I was wounded, and that's all in this deal. I wound up being evacuated and sent down to Busan. I wasn't wounded bad. If you're wounded bad, they sent you to Japan, or if you're real bad, they sent you right straight to the United States. Well, anyway, they flew me down to Busan, and I was in a Swedish hospital unit. This was a United Nations deal, you know. And so I was in there, and they patched me up there 2 or 3 weeks and sent me back to the front. But in my first day there, I got a Purple Heart and blue badge there, combat infantry badge, first star, one deal. Did it all.
Last Tune in next week for the rest of Bill's story. We'll be right back.